Hey everybody, Black Hippie Chick here. The hell? So, just because, okay, so this is my first time actually living in a home of my own since I was a child, you know, and this is a much nicer neighborhood than well, let me say it like this. This is a much newer neighborhood than the neighborhood I grew up in, and this is a much higher standard of living than the standard of living I had when I was growing up with my dad, who was raising 10 children as a single father. And so, you know, it's all relative to me, because if I could turn back the clock and have the sense of safety and security, even in a crazy life. I mean, we had a literally crazy life. And even though, excuse me, my smoker's cough, I know it doesn't sound very pleasant. It doesn't feel very pleasant. But forgive me for that, and pray for me that I get to quit smoking my weed, and that I start to ingest it in a way that doesn't compromise my voice, my lungs, all that. I need to be more healthy than I am. Shit. I'm walking both of these girls, this boy and this girl. I need to be more cognizant. You know, at 55, you can't take for granted that you have a day. I mean, you can't really take for granted that you have a day at 5 now, you know. It's a whole lot of stuff you just don't take for granted anymore since this COVID thing started, and since people have had to spend a lot of time with themselves, and it just makes you evaluate where you are, what's around you, and what you're creating in your life. And is it good? Is it good for you? Is it good for the ones around you that you love? Is it good for mankind? Is it good for humanity? Is it gonna create an outcome that's gonna be something that you want to live in? Because whatever you create, it's yours. You know, whatever you create, it's yours, whether it's good or bad. And you create it as a thought in your mind first, and then you let those thoughts turn into realities by what you allow to come out of your mouth and what you put your energy into. So I've decided that there is only one way that I'm interested in going, and that's the way that I'm going right now, because when I've submitted myself to God in the way that I have, and I'm not bragging on that, I'm saying that I did that out of a sense of absolute necessity, because had I not, I was going down a road spiritually that I could not return from. And my heart couldn't handle that. I've got enough going on with myself mentally, physically, you know, in all types of ways, that I don't need to be adding any additional bad karma to my life, if that makes sense. Because I have a lot of life to live, left to live. I'm relatively young, but the choices that we make in our bodies have consequences, and sometimes it's not even our choice. Sometimes it has nothing to do with anything we've done. Sometimes it's the chemicals in the food, the chemicals in the air, the chemicals in the water. I mean, it can be anything. So we just have to make sure that the energy field that we walk through life in is one of protection, and that what we're manifesting in our lives is something that we absolutely want, you know. Good things happen from good thoughts. Nobody ever thought about a bad thing and something good came out of it, you know. So, but then you have to get into the conversation of good and bad, and who determines what's good and what's not. So you have to understand that we came here with wisdom. We came here with a wise mind. We come here with logic, and that's why. Hi, good afternoon. It's okay, baby. Come on, this way. We came here with logic, reason, and understanding. We came here with purpose and intuition. That's why, as children are just brutally honest. They just call it out, just like they see it. And we have to teach that out of kids. And I don't think we should do that. And I think that the problem with America is that, and the problem with the world in general, is that that's what we've done. We've trained the truth out of our children, therefore we've trained the truth out of ourselves. You know, if a black kid is getting called a nigger in the classroom, he comes home and you tell him, well, that's just the cost of being black. And a white kid goes to school and gets his ass kicked by a black kid, you know, and you tell him that's just the cost of being white, but you suck it up. You swallow hard and you deal with it, and you walk through life with this resentment on this edge because the rules are fucked up, because they don't make any sense to anybody. And we're all trying to live in a situation where none of this shit make no sense. And we're trying to make it logical, and it don't work. It's like, you know, literally a square peg in a round hole. It does not fit. You know? And we are at that inflection point as a nation to where we have to start relying on the wisdom that God gave us when we came here. I don't care who your religious affiliations or your political, come on Coco, your political affiliations, I don't give a shit about any of that. I didn't even vote for president, you know. I voted local. I didn't even fucking vote for president this year. I don't care who your political affiliations are with. I'm not aligned with anybody. I don't think about things the way other people expect me to, because I base things on the reality of the world that I live in. And so experience has taught me that that's the only thing that you can trust. But you can also change your reality. And the way you change your reality is change what you think about and change what you do. You can change your body, you can change your mind, you can change your paycheck. You can change everything about your life by the way that you think. The way that you think about yourself and the way that you think about others. And what are you doing? What kind of good are you doing for the world? One of the things I had to understand is that, y'all forgive me because I have like a lot of post-nasal drip. Forgive me for that. It's nasty. But one of the things since I had this nervous breakdown in 2017 that I become keenly aware of is that I really do respond well to the medication that they prescribed to me, and that I needed it. There's this thing about us that we want to just thug stuff out because we think that it's a sign of weakness to admit that you need help and that this is something that you can't do by yourself. That's pride. That's absolute pride. And that's taught to us. And it's wrong. And the people that taught it to us had to thug it out a lot worse than we did. So they think we're weak because we don't think we should have to thug it out the same way people did during Jim Crow. We don't think we should have to thug it out the same way people did during slavery or even in the 50s and 60s. We have to thug out different shit now because we have become the commodity, you know? So we gotta think about shit different. You know, we just can't look at the world that's been handed to us and told that we have to live in and say, yeah, that's good with me. That's why people are building all these fucking tiny houses. That's why people are shedding all their shit and they're looking inward. They're starting to be more creative and making shit at home. And, you know, if this country really wanted to invest in itself, why doesn't it invest in its people and start buying shit from the people that make it here in their own homes and let people run their own businesses? The same thing we're doing over there in Africa and the same thing we're doing over there in Asia. How come we don't do that for our own people? But we don't want to do shit for them. Every time, you know, somebody... Hold on. And this is not a political conversation at all. It's just wisdom. Every time, you know, every time the government does something for all the motherfuckers that got a lot of money, then everybody's happy. Every time the government does something for all these motherfuckers that's out here putting the money in their pockets, everybody's mad. We put money in their pockets every time we go to work. They decide what we eat, what we sleep, how much we can afford to live, whatever. Nobody. And I mean nobody should have that kind of power in anybody's life. You know? Because just like they just did when they decided to turn up the heat on the frog pot, you know, the frogs don't know that they're boiling until they're already dead. So, seriously, You put a bunch of frogs in a pot of regular temperature water and just turn it up slow. I'm not saying to do that, but that's what the last 4 years have been. That's what the last 20 years have been, actually, if you think about it. Because when you start making rich people all over the world, and then their money starts to make as much difference as yours, and then you have to pay attention to how you're treating those people. You know, you got to pay attention to how you're treating them. You know, and this whole conversation about Asian abuse, I haven't heard anything about it personally in my life, but I'm not Asian and I'm not in that community. That doesn't mean it doesn't have value and that it's not happening. It's just not something that's happening to me, which is how most people think. If it's not happening to me, it's not my problem. Well, now we've got something that's happening to all of us. And you can't have that mentality anymore. You just can't. Because we're all in the same fishbowl, bro. We're all drinking the same water. We're all breathing the same air. We're all, we're all on the same social media platforms. We're all being monitored and we're all being, all kinds of shit. So just make sure that whatever you're putting in the world is something that you want to come back to you. Because what you say, what you think, you got to control your mind. You got to control what your thoughts are. Don't let anybody put thoughts in your head that cause you to hate another human being. Because that's what all this last 4 or 5 years has been about, is seeing how stupid people are and how willing and gullible they are to hate their neighbors. Because there's out there, everybody can't be happy. People can't just be happy. There's got to be a conflict. As soon as fucking Biden gets back in the White House, first thing he does is wants to start fucking wars with Iraq and shit, or whatever the fuck he's doing. Don't y'all see the pattern here? Don't you see it? It's obvious. We are the ones on the fucking table. We're the ones on the fucking plate. We're on the menu. And they just keep pulling our strings like we're fucking puppets. And we just keep allowing the shit to happen. And that's because we're all married to our fucking jobs. We're not married to our kids. We're not married to our spouses. We're not married to anything but our fucking jobs, so we can pay for all this shit that we don't even get to enjoy because we're working all the fucking time. And now people are at home with these people that they really don't know because they're passing each other through the night and all they deal with is each other's problems. Now you're stuck with this stranger on lockdown. And either people got closer or people got further apart. But nobody's going to be the same after this. And I hope they're not. Nobody should be the same after this. You got to love your neighbor as you love yourself. That's something that I believe. That's something I believe. You got to be willing to be honest about shit when you see it and it's wrong. And you got to be willing to call it out and not be afraid of what other people think about that. Because there's a lot of people in the world that know that we have this default setting of, well, people are entitled to their opinions. People can say what they want to say. Yes, you absolutely can, but the words that you have create things. And the words that you say have power. And if you have the power to create things with your mouth, why not create something beautiful? Look at that. Look at that beautiful, beautiful sun through those clouds. Yeah, so that's it. That's all it is. That's it. Okay, baby. Max is looking at me like, bitch, who you talking to? I'm on the phone, boo. I'm live streaming. So, when I say, get out there and enjoy the sun, and be good to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Recognize what we've all just gone through as a community of human beings all over the planet, going through the same thing. Remember how it was when we started seeing those trucks, those refrigerator trucks being used as temporary morgues. And now India is going through that and at a faster pace. And, it's horrible. It's horrible. So let's send some love and some healing energy and some positivity to the world. If you can send money, but all money ain't good money, you know. Just saying. Come on, Coco. This is the joy of my life right here. This is something I get to do. This is something I get to do. Every day, Monday through Friday, I get to see a gentleman. He's Jamaican and he's very wise, but he's suffering from dementia. And I don't know who I'm gonna get each day, but every day it's like meeting him for the first time all over again. It's like 51st days, because I get to look forward to who I'm gonna get today, and it's and I get to look forward to reading his energy so I don't annoy him, you know. I don't want to annoy him, you know. I'm there because he's missing, because somebody that he loves has been around him for a long time, is traveling, and I think they just really need a female presence there for the day. Yeah. And that's a good thing. I really, really like him. I love to see him smile. And he always turns around by the end of the day, because I'm just nice to him. I'm not annoyed by him. I'm just nice to him. I treat him the way I would want my dad to be treated, you know? And it's kind of like being able to go over and see my dad every day and have lunch with him. You know? And what's so cool, I got to start writing down questions to ask him, because he's very engaging when you ask him questions, but you got to ask him questions, you know? So I want to think up some relevant questions for his age, and start asking him some questions so he can start, you know, using those memories, or accessing those memories that he has that are happy memories. Because every time he talks about his childhood, or every time he talks about his career or whatever, he's really, really happy about that. And it's really nice talking to him. I asked him yesterday, or was that today? No, yesterday I asked him how to make the Jamaican dumplings. And he told me how to make them for boil or for fry. And don't you know, I'm going to make me some Jamaican dumplings. The next time I make oxtails, I'm going to make some dumplings too. And it's just super cool to be around a West Indian family, like from the West Indies. Because I actually had a really cool boss from Jamaica before too. She was an amazing woman. And so it goes. So it's really a joy to be able to get, it's so crazy, because like when you're doing something that you really enjoy doing, you don't even think about the clock. Like, you just want to get up early and do anything it takes so you can be in the right frame of mind when you get there, because you enjoy it so much and you really value the work that you do. So that's a beautiful feeling, you know. That's why I say I get to go to love every day. I get to love for a living. It's awesome. Well, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my walk. Thank you for listening to my rant. I was just having a little bit of a moment to myself, because I was kind of tired, but I don't want to cheat my dogs out of their walk this afternoon, because we did not walk before I went to work today because I overslept. So I did not sacrifice their walk this morning, but I had to make sure that I did my self-care routine, because it's really important that I have a self-care routine before I go around somebody who's counting on me to be in a good spirit. So I'm never gonna rush, unless it's like I got so many back-to-back appointments, but I'm not even gonna rush in. I'm just not gonna schedule my life in such a way that I have to rush. You know, that's a blessing, you know. I should have been retired on a mental health disability 3 years ago, but I ended up being able to survive and sustain and maintain ever since then, because I don't fuck over people. I don't fuck over people. Now, if somebody tries to fuck over me, they gonna see another side. But for the most part, I don't fuck over nobody. You know, I get emotional and I react badly sometimes and say some ugly truths. But it's rare that it's rare that I just fuck with somebody. I try not to, though. But I could be wrong. I don't know myself the way I think I do. I'm getting to know myself in the real sense of, like, who am I, what I like, what I need, what I don't need, what I enjoy, things that are really good and healing for me on a daily basis. I got these books on Amazon about, I got a dialectical behavioral training therapy journal, and I also got like a workbook that you can use without actually having the book, you know. The workbook is comprehensive enough that you don't have to get like the book. Yeah. So, yeah. So I actually took that one this afternoon because I do have quite a bit of downtime during the day, and I'm not playing the guitar during the day anymore. So I gotta fit those guitar lessons in, though, because it's something I really like to do. So I gotta make sure that I fit them in. Even if I don't do it during the day, I have to make time for the guitar in my evening, because that's a part of my healing process, because it's something that I enjoy. And so the other thing about having Max back is that I get to walk every day, because, you know, we walked for miles and miles and miles in the past. So hold on, wait. I got these Luna sandals on. They're so comfortable, but they don't fit the back of my heel. I have a really shallow heel, like the ankle part, so it keeps slipping off down the back of my foot. So, anyways, but yeah, I just feel so much better just because I'm walking every day now, and these guys are so much more well behaved because, you know, they're getting exercise too. Well, Coco for sure. And so now I got my walking buddy back. We can do some real adventures. So from now on, you know, I'm walking again. Hold on, wait, Coco. Wait. Stop, Max. Wait. What is going on here? Okay, wait. He is so strong, guys. Wait, Max, good boy. Yeah, so this is good for me. And those are the things you have to tell yourself if you're like me, and if you have dealt with borderline personality disorder. You tend to ruminate over some really negative thoughts, and you have to challenge those thoughts. Most of them are not true, and the rest of them that are true are not bad enough for you to be stressing out about. It's just that we have this panic button that we push, and you can't think through panic, just like you can't think through a panic attack. You can't think when your mind is racing and you're trying to hold it together. You can't think like that. So I'm gonna leave that there. And good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good becomes your better and your better becomes your best. My song for the day is Cynthia Rose, Starfish and Coffee. And my inspiration today is Summer Rose and Paris Rose. So y'all have a good day. Love y'all. Bye.